7-8 Fight News here with the brother Karceno. What's up, Ceno?
What's up?
Nothing much, man. You got Mike Alvarado, Brandon Rios fight tonight. You got Nonito down there. And,
He's yoga says.
yeah, I'm about to.
Yoga.
Yeah, all right. What you think of the Brandon Rios and Alvarado fight?
Yes, man, I almost jumped in my ceiling. I was doing that fight.
Right.
It went down just the way I envisioned the fight, just the way, this is what I love about it. It lived right up to like everybody who ever saw a fight before knew how this fight was going to go, just from knowing the two fighters.
Right.
And when it broke out, in like the first round, towards the end of the first round, it just started breaking out. Everybody was excited because you knew for the rest of the fight, it was going to go this way. Now, Mike Alvarado, he changed up a lot of things up in the beginning. I saw he wanted to set the pace of using his boxing ability and keep him at the end of his right hand, which was good, but he never relaxed. He was so caught in the moment of this being a big fight, he couldn't relax. He was rushing a lot of his punches. So that was getting him fatigued a lot early. And Brandon Rios was throwing some good body shots on the inside before he come up top. And I could see he was back to being the Brandon Rios he used to be, because he wouldn't allow himself to be tied up on the inside because he was going to keep working.
Right.
He'll throw a big punch and come in with an uppercut or a short hook because he's going to throw 3 and 4. But what I did notice from him is that he started to fatigue after 3 and 4 rounds because Mike's a big guy. And when you're at the lower weight classes and when you first come up, that's why he normally would take a light touch. You can get used to pushing the bigger man around in the ring.
Right.
Because it's a bit of a difference. Because you got to know how to scale it back. Because in the first couple of rounds, he was loading up on a lot of his shots early. And he really shouldn't have done that. That's what Robert Garcia told him, don't load up on all your shots. Because you can see the way he's turning his shoulders down. He's putting everything in every punch early when he was hitting Mike.
Right.
And he wasn't backing up. Then you see how he got fatigued. He wasn't moving his head no more. And it was almost like tea time.
Right.
Mike Alvarado was backing up and getting the leverage on his right hand, sweeping it over. So, he made a couple of adjustments because the thing is, Alvarado can't really fight when he's tired. He fights reckless and he just tries to rush everything. Brandon Rios is used to fighting when he's fatigued.
Yeah.
He's able to think well, even though he's fatigued and his energy's gone. He did something very smart right before that the 6th round, like around the 42nd mark. He threw a left hook to the body, to the liver of Mike Alvarado right before he landed the big right hand that hurt him before the end of the round. He threw a left hook to the body. After throwing some light punches, he threw it real hard, like he saved it up just for that good left to the body. Then he came up with a right hand. That left to the body stunned him so bad, it froze him for a minute.
Right.
That's why he was able to get hit with the right hand. He get hurt before that bell rung. And there was little shots like those that I saw in the live motion that I knew Mike was done. I was like, this is a matter of time. Because I was like, now he's done. It take a while to recover from a shot like that.
Yeah, it was a good close fight, man. It was an exciting fight. This wasn't about boxing skill at all. This was about banging. And them two dudes was in there. They put on a good show. But I thought that Mike Alvarado's corner was kind of relying on Brandon Rios to get tired. And I think they underestimated Brandon Rios' heart and his punching power at that weight class. Because, I was kind of shocked that Rios was taking Alvarado shots pretty good.
Yeah.
He
never backed up, and he forced Mike to fight. Every time Mike normally pushed his guys back.
Right.
He couldn't push back Brandon Rios at all in his fight. Even when he landed the shot, Brandon Rios kept coming forward. So he couldn't get his rest. He couldn't set himself to relax in the ring. And doing that's going to fatigue you a lot. It's going to take a lot out of you. And that just shows you the condition that Mike Alvarado was in. He was in great condition because he was so fatigued. He had to fight every minute of the round. He couldn't really relax.
Right.
Brandon got tired. he was able to get like a second boost, and his confidence came back. Because you can see his confidence was leaving. Because normally guys would be asleep from those punches he was throwing.
Right.
And Brandon just kept coming forward, man, and in that seventh round. And I do think that was a good stoppage. It was a great stoppage. He didn't throw any punches back for a while. I know he's a warrior and he wanted to keep fighting, but he wasn't throwing back any punches.
Yeah. I think it was a good stoppage. Say some, leave something in the tank for next time because he wasn't throwing back and he was getting hit. That's how fighters get permanently hurt. So they did the right thing by stopping it. But now, Brandon Rios, they leaked this information earlier, just I guess trying to see what the fans thought about it. But now I guess they're saying Brandon Rios may face the winner of Pacquiao Marquez or have a rematch with Alvarado. And if he does face the winner of Pacquiao Marquez, do you think Brandon Rios has what it takes to beat either one of those guys?
He has what it takes to beat. I don't know about Marquez. Marquez is making more of a rugged time for him because Marquez knows how to step back.
Right.
And won't get suckered into an exchange match. And he's going to stay at his angle. That'll be a tougher fight for him. Manny Pacquiao is going to come right ahead with speed. So when he does that and throws his flurry, Brandon Rios is going to have to. He'll have a more of a fight that he would want with Manny Pacquiao. Manny will trade with him and it'll go back and forth. But Rios has got to get a couple of fights in, I think, at 140 to get himself set and settled in. Because this is a big fight for him at 140. He fought one of the biggest guys at 140. Yeah. I think he needs another fight in between this to kind of get his body used to being at this higher weight.
Right.
Maybe going to come down to 140, which he won't. So that means that he'll have to go up to 147, and that's another 7 pounds.
Hey,
he's a small guy. You putting on all this weight, and your body's got to fight at this weight. It's a whole different experience. It kind of slows you down. You got to know how to pace yourself. It's not like you fight at lightweight. You fight at a heavier weight. You got to know when to conserve your energy and when to keep going.
Right. I think a good fight for Brandon Rios right now would be Lamont Peterson. I think that'd be a good fight. I think that because Peterson does tend to fight on the inside too, he can box. I think that'd be an interesting fight. Both of these,
You got a good story with it too because he beat his brother.
Right.
So you can really feel that one. But at this point, he's looking at a mega fight. But that's another good fight. I would love to see that at 140.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of great fights at 40 that could be made. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya, as soon as the fight was over, said he got breaking news. He's offering Lucas Matisse to Brandon Rios right now. He's like, he'll make that fight right now.
Wow.
Lucas Matisse versus Brandon Rios.
Who said they'll do that fight right now?
Yeah, that's what Oscar De La Hoya put that on his Twitter as soon as the fight was over.
Oh wow! But you know what? I think Matisse beats Rios, man. I think me personally, that's just me. I think Matisse is the best at 140 right now.
He is the best fighter at 140, and I mean it's not even close. I felt he beat Devin Alexander. I felt he beat Zab Judah. This guy here really should be undefeated.
Right.
The other two didn't have money invested in the fight.
Yeah.
But and him versus Brandon Rios is going to be a difficult fight for him.
Right.
Because Brandon Rios is not going to go anywhere. The thing is, he's going to be right in front of him. Lucas Matisse has always fought guys who didn't want to stand in front of him. Who was more slick boxers. And this guy's going to put his hand in his chest and come right for you. And he hasn't really fought a guy like that. So this is right up his alley, but then it again is something he might not want. Because it seems like a guy that's moving away from him. Once they feel his power, they move away. They try to stay at angle. And that way he can come forward and dictate the pace.
Right.
Brandon might be he'll fight at a pace he don't want to fight at 112 rounds. So I was very interested to see that fight.
Yeah, man. What do you think of Donaire's performance tonight?
Donaire, he did good. I think he did the best he could do with a guy who was taking away his strength. Yeah. I think he still had a game plan, but that one was kind of counterproductive for him. I knew what he was going for, but he waited too long to open up. I can see you doing that for about a round or two, but you got to start the trade and open up. But he was very weary of Donnie's power.
Yeah, yeah. He kept that hand up, watching for Donaire's left hook, but it made it for a pretty boring fight. He had, to me, I was watching the fight. Just, I ain't gonna lie to you. After the second round, man, I started watching UFC, man.
Hey, you know what? I put the same thing up.
Yeah. So.
Because of the thing is, I just said, man, let me get this fight going on up here and see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Then, next thing you know, I got that playing with this fight, and I was sitting there watching the UFC, and I watched the dude survive out of that first round. I don't even know how he did that.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought he was going to stop it in the first round, but that fight kept going on before the doctor stopped it. And then I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm like, okay, I see what he's trying to do. What he wanted to do was frustrate Donnier early, so Donnier would want to take chances because he was basically at home and just say, forget it, I'm just going to try to throw himself anyway and open up. He wanted Donnier to throw the left hook regardless. And that was the plan of him keeping his hand there, because then that way he can catch him with a counter.
Right.
And Donnier wouldn't do it. Donnier would not throw that left hook because he knew that's what he was waiting on. He was waiting for the counter, so he wouldn't throw it. So when Robert Garcia told him, because what he should have been doing, lead with the uppercut, and then come with a right hand. Right. He started throwing the uppercut right and started his combination that way. And that started to frustrate Nishioka to make him become more offensive because he's getting hit.
Right.
So there you standing there waiting on the perfect opening and shot, that's not going to happen. You got to throw some punches first to get him to open up. Double jab him.
Right.
Just do whatever you got to do to make him come out of that shell. But pretty soon he's going to do it.
Absolutely.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
And like he played possum. He kind of gave away around Nishioka. Just let him be offensive. Let him open up a little bit. After he takes a couple of shots, he realized that Nishioka couldn't hurt him, but he was okay. And he just basically just played possum. Started backing himself up, going on the road, not getting crazy, but, being aware that the opening might pop up if he let this guy get more offensive. And sure enough, Nishioka was looking for a shot, a counter shot. He's going to throw a jab right hand, and he threw the jab out there and left his face wide open.
Yeah, yeah.
Right hand. And that was it. I knew then he was done.
Yeah, Donaire.
He wasn't going to recover. His corner came in and stopped it. First, I thought the ref just got too excited and stopped the fight. I was like, what?
Me too.
The corner right in, and I said, oh, okay.
Right. That's what I did. I rewinded it. I was like, what the fuck happened? And then, I'm like, hell no. Me and my brother was tripping off that part. But yeah, then I seen this corner hat came in and stopped it. But, all right, so, one thing I do think Donaire, he doesn't get credit for his thinking ability in the ring. Because I was impressed by him not losing his composure and not getting frustrated and just boxing, because I was expecting him to, all right, get bored, get tired, get frustrated, and go out and start just trying to slug and shit. But, he did what he was supposed to do. So,
He was frustrated. I saw it on his face, man. He was frustrated. Man, he didn't like getting hit, but he got hit with low blows.
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of dirty in there, but he was frustrated, but he held his composure.
Right.
He was frustrated in the ring to make him throw the wrong punch.
Yeah. Well, so what do you think is next for Donaire? I didn't even listen to the post-fight interview.
I was wait till I listened to the post-fight, but yeah, that's what he was saying, that really he's ready for anybody, but like Rigondeaux, that fight don't excite him. He's just like, man, he needs to fight somebody to make it a big fight. He's like, it ain't like I don't want to fight the guy, but it's like negotiation for that fight is like ridiculous at this point, because this guy brings really nothing to the table.
Yeah.
He doesn't really beat anybody. That's why I'm like, putting Nishioka against any of the guys in that top five. I mean, not Nishioka, but Rigondeaux. Let him fight somebody in that top five they got. He got Arce there. Let Rigondeaux fight Arce. Let him beat somebody that's in that top rank, and then have him fight Diane. Let him get exposure that way.
Right.
Really, only people that know him is people on the internet.
Yeah.
Look him up. Like, man, he was a great amateur. I'm like, yeah, but that was what Hank did.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like the difference. I'm like, you think Mark Macaron knocking his head off with left counter level? I'm like, what do you think if Johnny Head catch him with that counter left? What he was gonna go? He was getting rocked by Macaron, by counter left and right to the steel. I was like, because he fights with headgear. When you fight with headgear, some shots you can't see coming. And his eyes wasn't trained to see that coming. And I was like, he's going to be this great defensive fighter. He likes to throw one shot and, like, kind of admire it, like he's throwing points. I'm like, in a professional level, he will be in trouble fighting certain people.
Right, right.
He needs a baptism under fire. And that's what our thing is for him. That is his baptism in the fire. Let him fight somebody like that. I ain't saying he ain't got great boxing ability. He do. It's just that he's kind of like amateur.
Well, you know,
Amateur fights, that's not good.
the thing is,
that's not a thing to be proud of.
I think that
but it's a whole different level from throwing.
yeah, no doubt. I think that Rigondeaux, what he needs to do is continue to beat, just like you said, he needs to beat those guys, beat those contenders out there, and let it be known. Build his because it. I mean, I do understand this is boxing, and it gotta make financial sense to Donaire right now. And Rigondeaux hasn't put himself in a position to where Donaire has to fight him or else. You know, he hasn't done that yet. And I think that all he needs to focus in on just beating the guys who he needs to beat, and everything will fall into place instead of worrying about Donaire. Because if you keep pressing for Donaire and you get him, and then you fuck around and lose, like it's a wrap. Nobody even checking for you no more. You know.
Exactly.
So.
And he just signed this extension with Top Rank. He got like I think 18 months extension with Top Rank. There was like 10 fights or whatever, so many fights that he got to have, and so they don't look to push him. So hopefully they put him in the ring with some fighters that he can get down and showcase his skills with. And I think Arce is the perfect fight for him. I'd be like, man, he should be trying to fight Arce and some guy that's in that top echelon of fighters that they got right there.
Right.
They got a 4-5 of them. I mean, let him fight, what's the name, Vasquez Jr. I mean, he's there. There's plenty of fights. You can fight Moreno or the winner of that fight, or Admiral Martin. They should be able to make that fight.
Yeah, that'd be well. I don't know if Golden Boy gonna let. I don't know if Golden Boy gonna put Marquez in there with him, but
they might not. But right now they act like they willing to do the fight. Like they working with Golden Boy. They put together what's his name? Eric Laura versus Monterosa.
right,
That's top rate Golden Boy right there.
right.
That fight got put together. So they can work together and put together fights. It's just that it all got to make sense on both sides.
All right, there, brother. We're gonna chop it up again. I don't want to make this video too long. I'm gonna get it right up real quick. So, 78 Fight News, the brother Karceno. Any last words?
Nothing too much. I did a great interview with Bob Arum. He gave me more than what I thought he was going to give me. I asked him all the questions. Everybody had it. I forgot one question, and then somebody brought it right up.
Oh yeah, you already did you?
I was like, man, I forgot about it.
You posted it already?
Yeah, it's posted already. I'm going to send you the link. It's on the website. It's on the main page. You go to the website, it's on the big screen. Then you can go to Boxing Socialist and pop right up. The video's in the top on the big player, so you can see the whole interview. He talks about why HBO never posted the numbers for the pay-per-view for Bradley. I asked him that he talked about Pacquiao and Brandon Rios, the winners of them fighting each other. That's when I found out about it, when he did that. And he explained that Fight Night story was a complete lie about Pacquiao's contract. Because I remember interviewing him before. He told me he had Pacquiao for almost 3 years. And that was about, this year, beginning of, or last year?
Right.
So all they did was get a year extension from the contract. His contract almost expired in 2013. But now with this extension, it's 2014 now. He just got it for another year. It's just an extension. So it wasn't in danger of him like he was at the end and they had to go ahead and extend it. So he's like, this story they came up with is crazy.
Well, you know, that's what they do over there, hype. I ain't worried about that. But, you know, all right, man, this 78 Fight News, Brother Karceno. We'll get up with y'all next time. Holla.